on Basin Street. Here's the street.
Hello, I'm Doris with a D, and welcome back to SoFloDining's At the Chef Table with Chef Dan. And today we have Chef Stasi, and we are in Fort Lauderdale. The name of the place, Shuck N Dive. And today, I'm presenting to you Chef Stasi. Tell us all about the beautiful place. We're loving it.
Well, it's good to have you in here after a lot of years. So we've been here 27 years. Yeah.
Wow.
We started over on the beach by Shooters in 99. We were a small little 3-booth, 3-table, 10-seat. It was right out in the front on the road. I don't know if anybody remembers the Black Orchid, but we shared that same building with them back in the day. Yeah, with Chef George Tullis, one of the great chefs at Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And we moved down here when the downtown started to start its revamping and resurrection, so to speak. This area here was really quite run down. Most of the buildings were shut, and I saw an opportunity to get in down here, and so we came here in 2005, I believe, and we've been here, like I say, 20 years now. Serving South Florida, the very authentic Cajun Creole, Southern food.
Awesome. Are there any other locations?
This is it. One and done, owner operator, chef owned and operated.
Awesome.
My wife is involved. She was played golf at the University of Tulane.
And her name is?
Megan Stasi. And she's actually the captain of the U.S. Curtis Cup team and a Florida Golf Hall of Fame. She's not here because she's at a tournament right now in Ocala. So I should be getting a text to see how the first round of the tournament went.
Hi, Megan.
When we're done. So yeah, we're hands-on. Got a long-term staff. I have 4 or 5 guys in the kitchen with me over 20 years.
Excellent.
5 employees been with me for 25 years since the beginning.
We love hearing
almost all of my employees have been here 10, 15 years.
That's beautiful, like a family.
Of the 31 or 32 employees we currently have, I'd say all but 4 or 5 are long term. The rest of them either high school kids that have started out as customers here that now work the door, and then some of them end up waiting tables here, and good local neighborhood bar.
That's the difference when we talk about owner operated and corporate. You have these stories. 20 years. You have people that were customers that come up. You have, and she knows, I've had people that were my pot washer that are now chefs.
Sure.
Somewhere else.
Sure.
And, that's...
I didn't let any of the guys in the kitchen ever leave.
That's a good part.
I've kept every single one. To be honest, I don't think I've ever lost anybody out of the kitchen yet.
That's a good thing.
Except for me. They've kind of pushed me out a little bit over the years.
Well, that's, that's hard. It's hard to leave.
It's hard.
But
that's what the special board's for. Lets me keep my hands in the fryer. So
no, that's the good thing. Then you get to be creative now.
Sure.
See, it's like once you build that trust, where you trust somebody, and we always talk about places that have, and I'm sure you have one. The guy that knows everything. You got a guy that's the porter, a guy that's the bartender, a guy that someone calls out. He's day shift, he's night shift.
Yeah.
And I said it's so hard to find that person.
Yeah.
But every place has one. It's like, where does that go? I don't know. Ask him.
Well, what's kind of unique about us is every table's every server. So no sections here.
No sections.
So if a customer needs somebody and a server's there, they're your customer.
Whoever comes by.
So we always tell somebody, don't wait for that person to come back. They might not ever.
Right.
So grab whoever you have, and we all work as a team. They all share their responsibilities together. So you're saying they all know what to do.
Right.
They all cross train.
Yeah.
They all can work the door. They all can work the expediting window. They all can work service
Love
bar.
that.
Yeah, that's smart.
So there's
anybody can
it's
jump
tough
in
getting
at
some
any
of them to shuck oysters. Some of them play dumb, but they all know how to if they got to bust open a dozen. Everybody knows it has to be able to at least get a dozen open in the afternoon if they have to.
Chef Dan spent a little time shucking.
I was a clam shucker, though.
Yeah, there you go. You were a clam shucker.
Jersey Shore on the boardwalk.
Sure. My wife, Ocean City.
Okay, right down,
That's where they grew up. She's a South Jersey girl.
Yep.
So I've spent a lot of time down.
I was in the seaside.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how we're all connected?
Yeah.
I love it. It's like we didn't even know till just now. That's awesome.
Well, we go through 6,000-7,000 oysters a week here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's a lot.
Everybody's got to know how to chef.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Just by sheer volume, one or two guys.
And again, people don't realize that's what makes them more valuable.
Sure.
Is that they can do everything. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, how come you didn't give me a lot of hours?" Well, you can only do this, and I only need you for this.
Yeah.
The more they learn, the more you could use them, the more hours they get, the more valuable in that essence that they become.
Yeah, we've had a few guys that start in the kitchen and then work their way. They want to expo because they want to become servers. They want to get up front. They got that good personality, and they kind of get feel locked in the kitchen. So we've had a couple. Our latest guy, Alfonso, he's started in the kitchen and he's just killing it on the floor now.
She's laughing because that's a story I tell everybody. Yeah. I worked in an Italian restaurant, and hours were limited in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they had stuff on the floor, so I said, I'll go out there. And what happened was I ended up causing problems. Because if it was busy, I'd go in the back and cook up my table's appetizer myself. And then it was like, hey, that's not fair. Why
survival of the fittest, Like,
hey.
Solutions, not problems. I tell them all the time.
Yeah. How is that not good?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
The idea is to serve with pleasure.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So. Is there any secret sauce or any special spice or anything that
well, we do have our own table sauces that are proprietary to us.
Okay.
Our regular table sauce, and we do smoke our pork in-house. So this is my rub. I'm born in Kansas City, so I do have a little bit of barbecue chops in me built in, and then we have our ghost pepper sauce, which is
I'm looking at that.
But my kind of connection to New Orleans came from originally my grandfather was in the produce and grocery store butchering business in Kansas City. So if you think about it, in the 40s and 50s, a lot of that stuff came through the port of New Orleans, coming from Mexico and the Caribbean. Right. Yeah. And there wasn't the transportation highway that there is now, where there's, satellite stores where they can just pull from, and they're running to one, and you had to get it from the source. So my grandfather worked with a couple companies out of New Orleans. We used to go down. My dad was in the liquor business. He worked for a company, Cuddy Sark. I don't know if you remember.
Oh my goodness!
The old Scotch Cuddy Sark.
My uncles used to love
that. So back in the early '60s, early '70s, that was the brand before all the single malts and all these great. And now, being a homeowner in Scotland, I'm a big single malt guy. So he worked with Cuddy Sark, and the distributor that he worked for was in New Orleans. Okay. So. As a kid, that's why you'll see there's pictures around me as a little kid up and down Bourbon Street. On the stage, I think, playing the trumpet with Johnny Horn at the Maison Bourbon, right on Bourbon. So that's kind of where it started there, and I worked for a few chefs after I got out of the TV business, and worked for a couple of chefs in Dallas that were master chefs, and one of the gentlemen was from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and I kind of broke my maiden, so to speak, with him as a sous chef doing the plantation brunches on Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I was his whipping horse.
Wow.
So kind of cut my chops there in the kitchen. And like you said, I was maitre d' during the week. I needed money. Yeah. I had two small kids, and I needed to figure out how to make more money. So I picked up the apron, and Saturdays and Sundays we did the plantation southern brunch where we cook and then everybody would eat. And it's kind of where I developed kind of my knowledge and love of cooking Southern, Creole, authentic. Spent a little time in Lafayette in summers before I opened up the restaurant, I interned at a place called Louisiana Woods and Waters. And it was a friend of mine, Bobby Richard. He helped me out, kind of showed me the ropes there in Lafayette. And spent some time in Préjean's, learning and observing there, and very iconic place in the area. And opened up on the beach in '99, very limited menu. And then was in the kitchen the first 15 years we were open. Put my hand on every dish that went out.
That's it. That's what it's about. And that's what it's about.
That's part of the foundation.
Yeah. And developed this menu. The menu has really just evolved. It hasn't really changed much over the years. My hardest when I do a menu reset, it's what to take off. There's everything sells very well. Our product mix is. I'm always surprised. Like, hey, we haven't sold, and then the next week, it's the third. And,
So you don't have like a popular dish.
boy, we do have our popular. Now there'll be the staples, obviously. Shuck N Dive oysters, gumbo will be our two of our top. Okay. This time of year, starting around the 1st of January through June, is the peak of crawfish season. So we are South Florida's crawfish house. I'm at the airport every single morning getting live crawfish. Wow. All of our sauces, my butchers in Brobridge, Louisiana, Poche's, they do all my butchering. We have preparatory, Tasso, Andouille, Boudin. They all come from Louisiana. All get shipped in on a weekly basis. So just try to be as authentic as we can.
I was going to say, so to say you're hands-on is really an understatement.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably 1,000 pounds a week of crawfish. Wow. You know, like I said, 5,000-6,000 oysters a week. So those would be our stables.
Right. I can't even imagine that kind of amount.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's great in this little bitty spot.
Right.
But you'll go like yesterday, I think we sold 300-400 pounds, and you look, almost every table had a bucket of 5 pounds of crawfish, and people just going at it. Always a couple of Beta beers next to it, the best way. And we do have a Beta beer on tap. That's probably the most popular Louisiana beer that's readily available. We're also, I think, the only certified Cajun Creole farm-to-table restaurant from the state of Louisiana. So the Department of Agriculture in Louisiana signifies restaurants or companies that are true Cajun or that use those. And we've been happy enough for quite a few years now to be designated as a certified Cajun Creole farm-to-table restaurant.
Real. Yeah,
I'm very proud of that.
That's
to stay to our roots, and we do. And if we can't get the products, then we just probably don't offer that.
And like we spoke about, I mean, I love Creole food. In college, we made it. I loved it, but I can't find anywhere. But now we found somewhere.
So
now we found somewhere, and we will be coming there because, like I said, it's hard to find. And I didn't know you were certified, but now definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I have friends from Louisiana who I'm going to send here.
Yeah.
Oh,
great. Well, you know what's going to happen is they're going to come on here. If they're from there, they're going to see somebody they know.
Oh, more than likely.
It happens.
Really?
It happens daily. Hey, where are you from? You're from the city? Where are you from? West Bank? My mama and pa, over by mom and them.
Look at that. Terry, I'm coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're going to come here for sure. Do you have a personal favorite?
Black and blue oysters is kind of dear to my heart. It's,
why?
Everybody has Bienville, Rockefeller.
Right.
Charbroiled is the hot thing now. It wasn't even a thing, 10 years ago, but now it's charbroiled or char-grilled.
Yep, char-grilled.
Just butter and cheese, which is phenomenal. It's the rage now in New Orleans. But we do a compound butter and poach the oyster in the compound butter, little crumbled blue cheese and blackened seasoning, and just let that melt over the butter. And that's kind of our signature dish. Okay. Yeah, something that you don't get anywhere else. Right. And I have seen them pop up a few places now, coincidentally. And I do have a few friends. A buddy of mine owns a bar in Ocean City, Maryland, and he's got them on there. I got another chef friend of mine that put him on his place in Soho in New York.
Well, that's flattery.
But I'd say one of our iconic dishes is our fried green tomatoes. And
there you go, chef.
Crazy the amount of fried green tomatoes. People that don't eat vegetables. This is my this is my one veggie.
Somebody that hates tomatoes.
Yeah.
I had them the first time like 2 years ago somewhere.
Right. In Georgia?
In Georgia.
Yeah, that would make sense.
For the first time ever. And I want them again.
And fried green tomatoes, that's not a New Orleans or Louisiana dish. That's a Southern dish. Right. That's a Georgia, South Carolina, Charleston.
Right.
That's that, lowland.
But I was like, I don't like tomatoes. She's like, try it. I'm like, tried a piece of hers, and I'm like, get more. Yeah. Get more. I like, but you don't like tomatoes. I'm like, these aren't tomatoes.
Yeah.
This is something different.
But obviously, our say most popular ones are those authentic dishes, your gumbos. Thursday is the only day we do jambalaya. We don't do it every day, so that way we can make sure it's consistent.
Very nice.
And each day we do seafood gumbo on. As a good Catholic boy, we do our Seafood Friday gumbo, which is, they say in New Orleans, are you Catholic and does your mama make a good roux?
Roux was going to be one of my questions to you.
Yeah. So and I'll just feed in. Go ahead. What's the question?
Because I was going to say, so a lot of people don't know roux. Roux is equal parts fat and flour. It's a thickening agent as opposed to cornstarch and whatever. But what people don't realize is this cuisine has a special roux. Usually as a chef, when you make a roux, you're looking for a blonde roux. In Creole, what is it, darker?
Well, so we make two roux. Make a peanut butter roux.
Yep.
And that's what we use on our seafood. It's not as strong. And then we make what I call a 2 a.m. roux. As dark as 2 a.m. But I really call it a 4-beer roux. It's a 2-beer roux, is the peanut butter, and a 4-beer roux. Because it take about 45 minutes to an hour, and we do it by hand, and we use butter.
Yeah.
And you need more beer.
You can't stop for a second.
No.
You got to scratch your nose. You got to get somebody else to keep stirring, and that's that balance between.
Yeah, but it's interesting because this cuisine is like the only one that has a specific.
Yeah. I mean, you use roux in a lot of French cooking, but it's mainly just a blonde flavor.
Right,
It's not a cooked roux.
Right, not a cooked
But just
roux.
mainly you're just cooking the flour off, so it's not raw. We're creating a deep, intense flavor.
And the flavor,
Yeah. And especially make sure you don't bite into that gumbo. Your places you go, you get a clump of flour. You're not gonna get that. No. Yeah. It did happen in the beginning, though. I won't lie.
Well, hey, it happens.
But we refined our
I'm glad that you
talents
found a way
for
to time it.
I'm sorry?
It's a 2-beer and a 4-beer. You
Yeah.
know the
Time it the
timing
right
of
way.
it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that kind
Sometimes
of timing.
the 2 turns into 3 and the 4 turns into 5. But,
Yeah, but who needs a clock anyway?
but nobody counts.
Nobody counts.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
So, try to stay to the authentic roots of Cajun cooking.
And that's it. Yeah, that's.
And the diversity of Cajun cooking in Louisiana really doesn't limit you very much.
No.
You have the influence of the Native Americans. I mean, that's where filet comes from, and they didn't know about that in France when the French.
Right, they didn't have that. Right.
New Orleans was a Spanish colony.
Yep.
It was a French colony.
Yep.
It had the slave trade came through, so you had all the influence of Africa. Gumbo is an African term.
Okay.
Jambalaya is formed from words like that. So a lot of those cooking techniques came through the Caribbean too on their way. So you get that blend of Spanish, Native American.
I was going to say we have a mojo,
right,
when we make our food, and you have the Trinity.
Sure.
And the only difference is, I think ours is.
Well, mirepoix is the French.
Mirepoix is the French. I was going to get there.
Yeah, we just get rid of the carrots and we put bell pepper. But
all the major cooks have a separate, and it's always 3.
Yeah.
I always find that interesting.
Yeah.
it's a trinity.
We have the Cuban has the garlic, pepper, onion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And and then you have the mirepoix and the Trinity.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting. I
would throw bacon in there with my set. I would say we do a lot of broken pieces. We render a lot of bacon fat, and then I kind of decide what I'm going to make from there.
Look at
So.
She's a bacon.
I'm excited.
Who doesn't like bacon?
She's a bacon hole.
Bacon and butter. I mean, it kind of makes everything better.
That's what,
Bacon does make everything better.
That's what she says. Bacon makes things everything.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And I always tell them that. I says,
And Saturdays we do shrimp and grits.
Okay.
Again, not really a Creole or Cajun dish. Again, very much a Low Country Charleston type vibe.
Brown gravy and.
We do a brown gravy on ours, kind of like a duxelle.
Yeah.
So it's a mushroom-based duxelle sauce
What
with
day is
crumbled
that?
bacon over the
What
top.
day of the
That's
week?
Saturdays, and then until we sell out on Sunday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday we do fried chicken, church chicken we call it.
Yeah, just like
mashed potatoes, pan gravy. 30 minutes to get your order. When you get the order in, we do it all hand breaded. It dredges for 15 minutes, then we fry it, then you get it, then it rests.
If you want good and you
people
want
wait,
fresh, you gotta wait. Yeah.
We do generally sell out on Sundays pretty early. So get here early if you want fried chicken on Sunday.
Good to know. Is there a particular dish that you wish that more people knew about and would order it?
Our duck. People will tell you what's the chef thinks the favorite thing, but I'm a duck hunter. I love duck. I've been eating duck since I was young, so I love our duck. It's nothing spectacular. It's just I do it right. It's rendered 3 times. So
I'll be here.
We bake it slow.
I love
we triple
duck.
render it, and then we finish it in the salamander just to get that crispness
It's so
on it.
hard to find that done
and then
correctly.
It just matches
Yes.
really well with collard greens. And then we do a country potato with that, or what I like with
hearing
it is sweet potato fries, collards, and the duck. Wow. That's kind of, to me, is such a perfect. And you get a little bit of the vinegar,
delicious.
the hot vinegar on these collards.
Oh,
You know, it really makes everything pop.
he's getting hungry.
Yeah. But like I said, it's really hard when I redo a menu. It's finding something that doesn't work.
Right.
And when we don't have a lot of meetings here, but when we do, usually one of my first questions is, okay, which item have you had any issues with? Is there one that that just definitely? And everybody's like, maybe one person will say that, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
So really hard, and I can't make the menu too big because then you can't control it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we try to keep it limited, and we do have a special board every day that we post. Our only social media that we do anything whatsoever is we post our special board every morning.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to know what I'm cooking as here,
And I remember that when I was doing the research on you guys, I was getting hungry reading the Blackboard
just
specials.
generally that's all you'll see,
Yes.
or maybe a brief announcement. We don't do any social media. We don't allow cell phones at the restaurant.
Okay.
So
Very important.
Check your cell phone. Make your calls on your way in. I put together a lot of good music.
Yep.
We enjoy the atmosphere here. We
Enjoy
hope
your
that
company. Enjoy the
we
food.
hope that you guys all
Put the phones
all talk,
down.
interact. If you don't want to talk to the person you're with, listen to the music.
Yeah.
Music brings everybody together. I mean,
Yes, it does.
that's really New Orleans. It's really driven by music
Yeah.
and food.
Oh yeah.
But it's the heart and soul, I think, of New Orleans. I just got back from the Super Bowl. There were 6 days, and me and my wife, every night we're like, we're going to go in, and we ended up on Frenchman Street every single night. Because you get caught up, and the music's just so good, and with New Orleans, it's really hard to find a bad restaurant or a bad band.
Right.
They just don't last.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true.
So.
Yeah, and you needed to replenish anyway. Because I know
I'm still feeling it.
No, we had a few text messages there where I was really and truly feeling that you needed to get away.
Yeah.
And just
Actually, I think we
replenish and
delayed
come
it.
back.
I think I was supposed to be here the Monday after Super Bowl, and I said,
No.
I'm not making it back.
No, and I couldn't blame you. No.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Yeah. You said
Stay.
awesome. Enjoy
Dude,
yourself.
yeah, it's awesome.
And
Yes.
it did take a lot because I was like to my wife, boy, I really feel bad.
No,
But
not at all.
well, great. Thank you for that.
No,
That's,
really.
yeah.
I mean, we were all about making whatever it is that works for you work the
It was
best
great because
possible.
I ended
for
up at
you.
Parasols at the Irish Channel Bar.
Look at that.
It's a very famous po' boy shop in the Irish Channel area, and they had the best debris gravy French fries.
Wow.
Po' boy. Oh,
Wow.
I can't even make it myself. I wouldn't even try to make it that good. It's phenomenal there, but.
How did
Sometimes
you
it-
ever make it into the? I mean, what were you thinking when you got into the hospitality industry?
Well, my grandfather,
spark?
my dad, we had restaurants.
Yeah.
We had the Stasi Italian restaurant in Kansas City as a kid. My mom was a trainer for the Marriott Company back in the early '70s. My dad was in the liquor business. I always did it. As a when I worked in TV.
Right.
Football season 16 weeks, and you don't get to work every week, and you're only working a few days. So I had to. 2 young kids when I was, I had kids in my early 20s. There wasn't enough money for me. So I had to. The only way I could get caught up is to work extra. So I was always finding myself in between television gigs as bartending or cooking. I actually opened up the very first Duffy's in Lake Park.
Really?
The very first one was off North Lake Boulevard, the first Duffy's. I would think I was the 13th employee back then.
Really?
Yeah. Steve Canoyer and Bob Gregory and those guys. And then I opened up their second location in Wellington. I mean, this is back in, I don't even know, late 80s.
Okay.
87. I straight out of high school, I worked at the first Duffy's. Now they're, 40 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little bit different back then.
Yeah, a little different.
The first one, and it was the same thing as my first restaurant. I kind of modeled it after it. They had, 4 or 5 items, very easy. 2, 3 guys in the line. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple. People don't get that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kiss
it's like I said,
principle, yeah.
you've been here
Kiss,
over 20
Kiss is
years.
a very good moniker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
No, but
It
like I said,
works.
you've been here over 20 years.
Yeah.
And you were saying about the menu. And I was going to tell you is when you find something you do good,
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, because people want to have these menus and they want to please everybody.
Yeah.
And what you end up doing is not pleasing everybody because somebody doesn't order this, somebody does, and then it's like when it comes up for an order, it's like, how do you make this?
Yeah.
You know, or
there was a lot of restaurants in the say 80s and 90s. I thought try to do everything, your Bennigan's and your Fridays, and Applebee's and places like that, or even local places that kind of tried to follow that model. That they didn't want that no vote in the car. I want a salad, I got it. I want Mexican, I got it. I want Asian, I want barbecue. Come on.
No, you can't, and you can't excel at something like you said here, the oysters.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, so where do you want to go for oysters? There's 100 places with oysters, but if this is the place with the best oysters, and they're known for their oysters,
that's what it's about.
This is the place to go.
So that's on our oysters. I don't know. We can see if we can reach that. So we get all of our oysters from Louisiana.
Okay. Oh.
When I say always, as long as they're available.
Right.
Occasionally during spawning or a big storm comes through in the water, they can't harvest. And there's a list of all the areas. So it starts at the state border here and goes to the state border in Texas. So you go, and this area 1 through 29, I think it goes to 36 or something like that when you get.
And that's where they harvest.
So we try to get all of our oysters over in this area. It's called Black Bay.
Okay.
So I've found over the years, so I pre-book all these oysters, years in advance, and I've developed the relationships. So we try to get them over here where the mouth of the Mississippi comes. This is Barataria Bay. I hope I'm not behind. Right. And that's some of the most minerally rich waters in the world. I mean, you're thinking about the Mississippi is dumping right there.
Down, yeah.
Right.
So you get brackish up into here. Obviously, the further down you get, the more solidity you have.
Right.
So our soft shell crabs come from up in here, Christmas Camp Lake. I'm sorry, I'm not getting in front of you.
It's okay.
So you can come in and ask what region. If you find, I like Area 4, I like Area 5. Now, depending on the times of year, we do get them from up in here, and Christmas Camp Lake is another spot that I try to get. So, but we were talking about, all the heritages or the melting pot of Louisiana food culture from all the different regions of the world. Well, it's kind of crazy here. We won't look at that, but see, it's Sportsman's Paradise, Louisiana. If you look at a license plate, it'll say Sportsman's Paradise. Right. So if you start in the Gulf of Mexico, you got big eye tuna.
Right.
Then you have redfish.
Right.
Then you have frog, turtle, crawfish. Then you get into the oysters, obviously, and crustaceans, and shrimp, obviously some of the best shrimps in the world, obviously shrimp, Barataria Bay shrimp. But then you get in your growing areas, strawberries, pecan.
Wow. I remember the pecans,
Then you got your duck and your land animals that you can harvest. Then you up north, and even in northern Shreveport area, cattle farms because you're Texas.
Wow.
So
what a rich area.
There's really nothing in the food
that you don't have.
So culinary school guys will tell you they'll have a Mediterranean semester. You got an Asian semester. Right. Well, a lot of places will have a Louisiana semester. Just straight up Louisiana, because you can cover the French techniques, the Spanish techniques, the local. The Cajuns were French Canadians. Yeah. They got ostracized from France to Montreal area, and then when they settled Montreal, they kicked them and they gave them the swampland, thinking they couldn't do anything with it. Well, they proved them wrong.
They did, yeah.
So, and
I remember that we did some of the history in college. When we were doing it. Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful thing. Just goes to show you, sometimes when somebody tells you no, it's a good thing
for
you.
Sure.
Or go,
you can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you.
That's what it's all about.
Sure.
You had told us about a weekly special. Do you have any others?
So each day of the week we do have a set special. We do a Taco Tuesday. We do get outside the box a little bit there, but we do a blackened mahi.
Okay.
And spent some time playing golf in San Diego area, and went to this place in Oceanside and had these fish tacos, and I'm like, I
gotta do this.
I'm making them.
Gotta do this. Yes.
So we do a nice fresh shaved cabbage, fresh pico de gallo, and then I do a sour cream cumin remoulade. As my topping, little queso fresco.
Yes.
And we fry our tortillas. so they're a little crispy.
You make them, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a knife and fork taco.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Those are the good ones.
Wednesdays we do all day happy hour every Wednesday. So it's happy hour from the time we open to the time we close.
Okay.
Instead of doing a little bit every day, it's all day Wednesday, and that's our drink specials every day. We feature Código tequila always, which is one of the best tequilas in the world. We love George Strait.
Okay.
So that's his tequila, so we really support him. And then we're a really big supporter of Pilar rum, which is from Key
Pilar
West.
rum.
We know that well.
We have rum punch, Pilar rum punch on tap. We're one of the few places in South Florida. We make canisters of it every morning.
That's
and
impressive.
plow through it, so it's always the same, very consistent, and it gets a nice little dark Pilar floater on top. So obviously hurricanes and those specialty type drinks.
Right.
Do always have a couple rotating local beer. You got Tarpon Bend River, Brewing, Fort Lauderdale Ale, and so quite Funky Buddha, another one.
Buddha.
You know, they've always got a handle here. They were supported by us back in the day when they were small.
When they were small, right?
Yeah, they were just a little bitty house.
So you formed that.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So we always try to support the local guys. Any of these local breweries, you'll come in anytime. We'll always have a local brew on tap that rotates around.
And now we have a lot of little microbreweries popping up.
There are
around.
Yeah.
I mean, this area you mentioned earlier in the tape about this area up and coming.
Yeah, it came. It's here.
In the past couple of years, in the past 4 years, this thing really is up and
amazing.
coming.
I mean, everybody knows you. I'm here every single day, and I drive down the street, and I'll take a turn. I'll be like,
well,
where did that
the
building
first time I went
just
past the
come
Sears
from?
building, I was like, wait, this was where the Sears was.
Yeah. There's
It's
going
like
to be
somebody
two.
watered concrete, and all of a sudden we've got all these buildings.
It's
I was
crazy.
amazed coming here. We didn't.
And
know.
they've done a good job. I remember when Mayor Jack Seiler had his envision of making this more of a walking downtown, and really opened up to allowing growth in that area. So I want to thank Jack for that. So
awesome.
It's been a good run down here. It's a lot of new restaurants down here in this area too.
A lot of new.
Yeah.
But,
is there anything that you would like to add? Anything that you're looking forward to in the future?
Well, Mardi Gras is always our big time.
There you go.
That's our one. That's our St. Patty's Day for the Irish bar is Mardi Gras. That's always fun. We try to think we kind of have a little bit of Mardi Gras every day here, but
Nothing wrong with that.
no, I just love to everybody that hasn't tried it to come on out and give us a shot.
No, we're gonna. Now that I've seen this menu, we're gonna be coming here. You'll be seeing us here.
Closed on Mondays, remember that. That's
really,
our day to prep and
really
get
important though. When we pulled up, we saw you had outside seating too.
Yes. Yeah. Very dog friendly.
What do you have? How many seats? Or do you have?
So about 50 seats outside. Like I say, very dog friendly. Couple picnic tables. We're real close to Holiday Park here, so we get a lot of the little league teams come over.
Awesome.
And we got them out there. We also have a private event room on the other side of the restaurant that either opens up on busy nights and includes the dining room. About 60 in the main room, another 30 or 40. So 150.
So you have a private. They could do private stuff if they want it.
Yeah. So we do rent it. We do a lot of events next door. A lot of functions. Holiday parties, every night, every day and night during Christmas time.
Weekly parties.
Yeah.
This place is a party.
We're very involved in the hockey center here. I don't know if people realize.
Picture. Was the Stanley Cup here?
The Stanley Cup was here.
I saw that picture. I saw that picture.
Yeah. I'll run and grab the picture real quick. So we had the Stanley Cup here for about 6 hours. And I was fortunate enough to eat oysters out of the cup.
I was just going to say, did anyone get
right out of the cup? I got a good video. I'll send you the link.
Send us the video. I could
Yeah. So I think I ate 6 oysters in 10 seconds. So right out of them. And but the cup, Sir Stanley was on the table over there. I bet we had 400 or 500 people come in and have a drink with the cup.
Nice.
And the cup had some tequila that day. The cup had oysters. The cup had some whole fried yellowtail snapper. Wow. Which is maybe a local dish. If somebody's looking for something local, we do bring up
you do the whole
fresh, whole snappers. Key Largo day boat. So
okay.
So that's supporting Key Largo Fisheries.
Yes.
They come up twice, 3 days a week, and they're bringing us up fresh, beautiful
We're
snapper.
doing some stuff in the Keys. We've been as far down as Marathon. I mean, we've been, of course, to Key West, but we pretty much with SoFloDining been down to Marathon, and we pretty much stopped at Marathon because there's so many damn restaurants in Marathon,
And they're so good.
Again, not to compare it to Louisiana, but there is so much culture down there. Like you got a Cuban restaurant, then you got like a Chinese restaurant, then you got Portuguese, and it's like, and they're all delicious, and and it's all seafood, and they're all there, and I'm like, I love this place,
Well, Key West is very similar to New Orleans, sister city, just a little warmer and and it smells a little better. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. No.
Well, but no, it's like I said, we're vibrant down here with fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Okay, now I got a curveball question I always ask.
All right.
What is your go-to, like when you're on the line or the line's over? What's something you like to grab and eat? It doesn't have to be something on the menu. For me, it was peanut butter and jelly. We've had people say hot dogs. Is there something, because, of course, you buy this food every day. So is there something that's your go-to?
I'm Italian, so probably a slice of pizza.
There you go. Hot or cold?
At the end, it doesn't matter. I mean,
see,
there's pizza. There's no such thing as bad pizza. There's just better pizza.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes the best slice is that next morning.
Yes.
Those last two you left in the box from the night before on the counter.
She's laughing because that's what happens at our house.
He must be your brother from
that's
another mother.
At our house. It's two slices always.
It's
and I always tell people, because we've had a couple chefs say pizza, and I always say hot or cold, and a lot of them have a distinct hot or and I say either way. To me, when it's cold, it's just like cheese with bread.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a thin crust, flavorful Napoli type pizza.
I like mine crusty.
Yeah,
I like the crunch.
Yeah,
I like to hear it go when I have it, but that's why I reheat mine. But that's the only reason.
Do you know a place in town that has good St. Louis pizza? Do you know, with the Provel cheese? Do you know? Have you come across it?
Let me look, because for some reason that did. Somebody did write. Yeah, somebody wrote something in.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
If anybody knows a good St. Louis pizza,
I gotta look. Yeah,
help me out.
I can check through my email because someone did bring that up.
Yeah,
we'll get back to you on
I
that.
have a couple customers that bring me frozen Emos, which is kind of a chain in St. Louis. And it's, like I say, no such thing as bad pizza.
Right.
Tostinos. What was the frozen ones you used to get?
Tostinos.
Yeah, I mean, I would love those. They're not bad, but
I like what's the cheap brand I liked? Something Tree it was called. Green Tree or something. Same thing.
Yeah.
It was like the cheapest one in the thing.
Yeah.
And it was to me it was like a bar pie. I loved it.
Yeah.
Down here I can't find it.
Yeah.
Bar pie.
So you get done. And
again, it's you're around that food all the time.
But I'm gonna tell you, I get done and it's late and I need something. It's gonna be liquid.
Yeah.
I'm more on like the cold barley soup guy.
No, what was the cold barley?
Cold barley soup guy.
Yeah, that's kind of my go-to at the end of the night. Maybe Codigo.
Yes.
And then
really calm.
Yeah, then,
really calm.
Well, you get done at midnight, 1 o'clock. You're just getting off. People don't understand.
They don't get it.
I need a couple hours to unwind and then figure out my orders.
My favorite one is people think, oh, you close at 10, whatever. No, we close at 10. We're not out of here till midnight.
Yeah.
We got to clean up, break down, put everything away.
Yeah. I had a hot fryer at 10.
Yeah. The other one, cleaning the fryer, and it's like
twice a day.
Yeah, you can't just turn it off.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
So. But no, it's we would talk about the lifestyle. People don't get it. You know, they think that, like I was saying earlier about the eating the food, is I worked in a place where we had a lot of banquets, filet mignon and lobster. And when you clean up the lobster, when they take it out of the tail, there's always like an inch left. And I used to put that inch aside.
Little nuggets.
And I used to put it in butter.
So he's got a name for it. He calls them nuggets.
I would take the filet mignon and I put it on a slicer, slice it paper thin and put it on a baguette. But by doing that every night for 2 years, 3 years, guess what I don't like anymore?
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, I mean, I think a lot of chefs will attest to this. A lot of times it's, what do I want to eat? Anything that I just didn't cook.
Yeah.
Because I've been 4 days straight. I've had my head in the same thing. I don't want to see another.
I don't want to see it. Me, I don't like my own food.
Yeah.
It's funny. My family, friends, people that when I cook, they love it. To me, it's like I don't like my own food. Yeah. But I learned when we were in college, it is a psychological thing.
Yeah.
When we were in college, they told us. I think they bought a sub from a local deli. And they took all the ingredients and they put the ingredients on the table, and we made sure we had the same brands that they had. And the chef wanted us to recreate the sub. There were about 8 of us in the class, and we did it. And everyone tasted their sub. How's it taste? And we were like, it's not close. He goes, what I want you to do is cut an end off and give it to the person next to you. So we did that, and we tried it. Oh, it's spot on. Everybody said it was spot on. And he said it's psychological.
Yeah.
When you do it, in your mind, it doesn't match up because you know it's different.
Yeah.
You don't know why it's different, but and it was true. I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, it was like.
Well, it drives my wife crazy. I'll cook at the house for friends and do a lot of smoking and outdoor by the pool stuff. A lot easier to clean up. But by the time I get done cooking and to plate everything, I've eaten.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, when you're carving brisket, I get every best piece.
Yeah, nice little ends.
It's like, I'll carve the turkey at Thanksgiving, no problem. But by the time I'm done carving, I've already had mine.
Yeah.
I've got every little piece that I want.
You can't put that broken piece on the plate.
No.
You know, you can't put that broken piece. You got to eat that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I know you have the special sauce to dip it in.
I was going to say.
Now I'm going to deep fry turkey now because I just started talking about turkey. So.
Well, no,
That's fun.
I was going to say also that piece that was sitting in the au jus all night. You can't give that to anybody.
No way.
That's
home.
home.
A piece of French bread. Just pick up the turkey with the French bread.
That's it. Yeah. And she knows. She's laughing because she does it all the time. She's like, "How come you're not hungry?"
Yeah.
Like I've been eating.
Yeah.
But
it's hard.
So, anything else?
I don't have anything else for you
Great.
guys.
Thanks for coming in. It's been a pleasure to spend time. Meet you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Shuck N Dive.
Totally
Shuck
been
N
a
Dive,
pleasure.
Fort Lauderdale. Chef Stas in the house.
Yes.
Phone number and address.
Yes.
Phone number 954-462-0088. We are at 650 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, about 6 blocks north of the tunnel as you're going north. Before the old Sears town, which we just said is no longer.
No longer there.
Yeah.
So if you think you're lost, and you turn left at Sears town, it's not there anymore.
Not there.
ShuckNDive.com. Check out our website.
Yep. We'll put all the links and all on the bottom. You'll see everything.
Yeah, we're not big on social media.
Not big on social media. And they don't have to
my wife laughs at me. I don't even know what a hashtag or a post. I don't know anything about it, nor do I want to.
The thing about it is, when you're busy and you're packed and you don't do that, you know you're good.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion with other restaurant owners. We have restaurant owners that they don't take reservations. Saying like this, they don't even have they don't have a Facebook, they don't have an Instagram. And guess what? Friday and Saturday, you can't walk in.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can't walk in.
Yeah, right. You can't. You can't walk in, and
that's the power of word of mouth.
Well, it's there's no doubt that you'd rather have somebody that's been told by a friend that it's good, and they have that expectation of it being good already, and then so many people are kind of negative Nancy's.
Yes,
and they're already going to walk in, and they're already going to go, "What's going to be wrong here?" And
I don't got time for those.
I really don't. After 27 years, I'll be like, you know what? There's 3,000 other restaurants that are probably going to make you happy. I'm sorry that.
Or not.
Well,
sorry that my delicious food.
I shouldn't say this on video, but one of my one of my dreams. One of my dreams was to win the lottery, buy a little strip mall, rent out the 4 or 5 units, have my restaurant in the last one, open Friday, Saturday, because I love to cook.
Yeah.
So winning the money wouldn't make me stop working.
Yeah.
But what I would do is if I had someone come complain, no problem. I got the check. See you later.
Yeah, sure.
Get out.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just said, there are people that are predisposed to be negative, and it's like
we had 99.9% of our customers are unbelievable. They've been coming here their whole life. I can't tell you how many kids that I know that started out in the womb.
Right.
And now they come in on their first date. Their first time they got to drive their car, they drove it to here. Then their first date was here. They're in college. They come back. I end up catering their wedding.
That's a beautiful blessing.
I've known them since their first meal ever, solid food, was a pinch of a red bean.
There you go.
You know, and it's not at one time. It's multiple times that I've raised people in these booths to see them go on.
I mean, part of us reaching out, you know, to you because again, he doesn't do social media. He didn't reach out to us. We reached out to him. Is because we do our research, and I read your reviews, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
You know, 100%. That's what we do. We pick out the best.
Yeah.
And
thank you very much for that. It's, you know how hard we work. You understand that. And I got a team here.
Yeah.
It's not me.
You do.
I mean, you know, Chef Stas, but it's those guys. It's the crew.
Yeah, but it's your creation.
One of my speeches.
Well, yeah. I mean, Louisiana created a lot of it. I took a good product. I just tried not to mess with it too much.
But Chef Stasi did.
My coworkers in the past will tell you is I'd have staff that came up to me and boss, and I said, I'm not the boss. Yeah. I'm not a boss. Yeah. We all work together for the same cause. Yeah. We all have a job here. Yep. We have different positions, but we all work here. Yeah. And I always said, someone that wants to be called boss is an idiot. Yeah. Because like you are the boss. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, you've been here 20-something years. Yeah. You created this. You made this. Sure. So you don't need anybody telling you that. Sure. And to me, I always find the people that want to be called boss is the guy you hired as a manager that's been in the business for 5 years, 3 years, and he wants to be called the boss. Yeah. We don't need that name. I'm generally, when they walk and say, is the owner or the manager here, I'm usually hiding. Yeah. And I go, he's right over there. Right over there. And I point to one of my key employees and I go, you got him. Because we don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that boost. I mean, it's like we know. Yeah. And like you just said, you gave credit to the team. Oh, sure. A lot of people can't do that, and it's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's nice to be able to get away and trust. I was going to say you went to the Super Bowl and had the place running. Yeah, they do a great job. Like I say, my wife's a very good golfer, and we're gone, and I caddy for her quite a bit around the world, and so we are able to get away, and I can completely entrust it. Most of them will tell you it runs better when I'm not here. I get that too. You know, I got that too. Yeah. It's like, when are you leaving again? Yeah. But no, it's great. We have such a great rapport between all. We're friends at the restaurant, and we're friends when we go out. That's good. That's good. So it's been a great run, and I'm proud to have these guys with me. No, and again, you what's that called? Mentor them. Yeah, because I love doing that. That's one of my big things too. I love mentoring. It's great to see that progression in people. And you see somebody that wants to learn something. How can you not say yes? Yeah, you know, that's the whole. It's a dying breed. Yes. Well, you know, many of these tapes I always talk about. It's not what you see on TV. It's not like you see on TV. No, you know. No, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of love. And that's what it's all about. All right. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Come see you. Take care. See you at the Shuck N Dive. As always, enjoy, and we'll see you here. Take care. Who dat?
And Basin Street is a street where all the boys and the good folks meet down in New Orleans in the land of dreams. And you never know how nice it seems, and that's how much it really means. No, dear to me. Yes, sirree. Dear to me, yes, sirree. Can't you see, baby, I can't lose those good old Basin Street blues.